we've gone for a long time not knowing what RE9 is really about, and the information that we've gotten is rumors on top of rumors, you know, drip feeding us all these things like, oh, did you know that the story is going to be set in 2037 and Leon and Jill does a weird team up and stuff like that, which is, you know, I find it a little bit random and just out of nowhere in my opinion. I just kind of think like, why are we going with this sort of option when we already kind of have a good foundation, which is the Resident Evil 8 storyline, or the cliffhanger, I guess, of the BSAA joining, oh no, yeah, basically joining the idea of using BOWs. It's something that they've always fought against, and now they're starting to use it as weapons. I feel like that itself is such a great foundation. I don't know why you wouldn't go for that. Now, obviously, these are just rumors that we've kind of gotten, and I just want to talk about it generally, just RE9 as a whole, and you know, what we can expect and maybe when we could actually get this game, or at least an announcement. Now, the first question I want to know is what characters will actually be involved in this story, or this game, should I say, as we don't know what the plotline is, for example. Now, if it's the one where it's about Chris Redfield probably going down and probably investigating about the BSA using POWs, then I could imagine some characters being in that story already, which is probably like the likes of Jill Valentine's, Rebecca Chambers, maybe Leon Kennedy. I feel like probably Claire, essentially being the Death Island group, and that's probably might be the idea or direction we might go. Who knows? I know people get a little worried when there's multiple characters because they think of RE6, which I don't think Capcom will repeat that again. I feel like we've kind of learned from that experience, and now that they're going to try to do something a little bit different, a little bit, you know, in a way that we obviously like it. So I feel like that's not something we have to worry about. Again, maybe, you never know. But I don't know what characters will actually be in that. I would like Rebecca to come back though, because we haven't seen her a lot longer than Jill. Jill, at least we had a little bit of gameplay with her in RE5, and after that we just haven't seen her in a new game. Rebecca, she is terrible in a sense that we haven't actually played as her since Resident Evil 0, and that is pretty wild. I guess you could also count Resident Evil 5 with the mercenaries, but outside of that we haven't played as her, and that's not even a storyline. That's just basically like a, you know, bonus extra game mode. So I would like Rebecca Chambers to make a return, make a comeback at least, including Claire Redfield, because she's another character that doesn't get enough screen time, or love I should say, at least in the games. Obviously we know that Claire has a outstanding community out there, and I've definitely seen it. So for those Claire fans and Rebecca fans, hopefully these two can return. And maybe, you know, Ada Wong, I know she wouldn't have any place in the storyline, so yeah, let's just move on to the other topics. Now, if RE9 releases in 2025, then we will be getting a long development cycle. If you think about it, like a 7-year development cycle. We don't really get that with Resident Evil. At least I don't know of any long development cycle like that. I guess maybe RE4 was probably like second longest. I could be wrong. I don't know. I actually don't know. Comment that down below if you do actually know what's the longest development cycle for a RE game and which one it might be. But that is pretty insane to think that we're getting that sort of development cycle, and it kind of leads to the leak that happened, I think, was it a couple months ago, which is the idea of Resident Evil 9 being open world. I know that may have frightened a lot of survival horror fans because it sounds like they're trying to merge a JRPG with a survival horror, and I'm not saying an open world can't work. The The only problem is there will be a lot of filler and fluff about it. And it's something that I've had a lot of people talk about and really just don't like the idea of. But allow me to explain a little bit why this idea kind of wouldn't work and why I'm still curious to see how it could work in the games. So you're going around the mansion, scouring for whatever little droppings of items you can find, a first aid spray, a herb, and you're really low on health. You're in the danger zone and you need this, and the minute you get that item is such a big relief. And that's kind of what RE's all about. It's just the survival aspect of, you know, you're on the edge and you're actually in the situation that you are in and you are scouring for items. Now in an open world environment that might not work, since you probably will need a lot more items stacked around, and it could be a little weird just going, oh, first aid spray, I didn't really needed it, but sure. And it kind of lessens the tension of the actual experience of the game if you just get hand fed all these items like first aid sprays, bullets, ammo, all that stuff, and you just like, oh well, I thought this game was meant to be scary. That's the situation you might find yourself in, and I guess that's kind of the reason why people don't like the action survival horror games of RE5 and RE4 and RE6, so that kind of explains it. But in open world, it will also have to provide something a little bit more, as you'll probably have to do some quests, you know, fetch this item, or fetch this survivor and I'll give you 10 shotgun ammo, you know. And it's like, yeah, I don't know if that could actually work, but I would be curious to see if it actually could be implemented. I don't think a true open world experience would be necessary. I feel like maybe what RE4 and RE8 does, where you obviously had this little hub world and you had to go to like each location. Like in RE8 it was you going to the other parts of the castle. In RE4 it was obviously you on the boat going to each part of the island, and so maybe this is the direction we're going. Obviously you have to take these leaks with a pinch of salt, because some of them are just, you know, ones to get you riled up or reactionary or to obviously clickbait, and you know, try to see what you might think and stuff like that. Obviously it's great for us YouTubers because you get to speculate and come up with all these ideas, so you know, there's a good and a bad side about leaks. But enough with the open world aesthetic, what about the game modes that might actually be in this game? Now I hope they actually add mercenaries and raid mode, well, one of the two, because they're a little bit different. One is raid mode where you obviously clear out a level and you have to like defend level and the missions come. Well, you got mercenaries, which is obviously how many points can you rack up in this amount of time, with obviously random time bonuses here and there. Now Resident Evil 9 was cited on the Metacritic website, and it just seems a little bit odd. Why now of all things? Obviously this was like last month, but why this timing? And the only thing I could think of, and a lot of people could think of, is the Game Awards. Why else reveal it now if it's not going to be revealed then? And this seems a little odd to reveal it randomly in November, so I have my suspicions that it's definitely going to be revealed in the Game Awards. You'll see December 12th, that's when it's happening, and we could also see our first little teaser. Now if we don't, then there's always obviously other events next year that will obviously happen, but it is a little bit odd putting it now and not having an announcement at all. It just seems like maybe an accident. If so, if we don't get anything at the Game Awards, then we could just roll it off like, okay, that happened, but I doubt it. I feel like we are getting an announcement in due time at the Game Awards. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to obviously subscribe, ring the notification bell, that way you can stay notified for any videos I make next. like the button, and obviously share this with your family and friends. Don't forget the subscriber goal, which is 100 subs at the end of the year, or if not, maybe at the start of the year. That being said, have a fantastic day and keep being awesome.